Quasi here, and in today's video I want to talk to you about people pleasing and why it's not serving you, how to overcome it, and the deep reason why you're not able to overcome it. So if you're someone who's been people pleasing their whole lives and you see that it's not serving you, but you just can't overcome it, you just can't create those boundaries, then this video is for you. Stick around to the very end of this because I do think this would be very valuable for you. So with that, let's get started. Now in this video, I want to talk to you about people pleasing, but through the context of pain and pleasure, right? Why we fall for certain behaviors and why we just can't overcome them no matter how hard we try. So in the case of people pleasers, it's hard to say no, even though you know that you won't be able to deliver on that promise. But what's happening right now is you have been accustomed to saying yes, and you feel so much pleasure from saying yes and just, going all in and doing something for someone. And what I've noticed is that with people pleasers, even myself, when I used to partake in that behavior, I saw that it wasn't serving me, right? But there wasn't enough pain associated with people pleasing to the point where I could snap myself out of it. I didn't feel enough pain from it. But then, as I started to grow a business and I started to do all of these things, I started to see that, I didn't have enough time to say yes to everything. So I had to say no to certain things. And that realization only came to me when I got clear about my life. And I'm not just saying intellectually clear, but also emotionally clear, which is the number one thing what people pleasers miss. Okay, so please pay attention to this. If I give an example of this, it's kind of like I know intellectually that it's good for me to eat salad and eat healthy food. But emotionally, that clarity hasn't come yet, right? Intellectually, it's come. Intellectually, I know that I should do this and I should do that, but emotionally it hasn't come because there isn't pain or there isn't pleasure associated with it. When I feel pleasure from eating salads, I'm going to eat more salads. When I feel pain from not eating salad and eating junk food, then it's also going to propel me to eat more salad, right? It's as simple as that. So the underlying behavior with people pleasers is they look for opportunities to say yes and yes and yes. And it happens in subtle ways where you get yourself into engagements that you shouldn't be getting into, and you know that it won't serve you, and then you just find at the end of the day that you've taken on too much and more than you can handle, right? And that's quite a difficult situation to be in because now you don't have time for yourself. You're just working on filling up the cups of others, right? So in that sense, you don't have enough pain associated to the behaviors of saying yes, of getting yourself into certain situations. And even before this pain and pleasure comes in, there is awareness, right? With awareness, the choice comes up, the potential becomes available for you to change certain behaviors. Now, the potential isn't even there. You're just an unconscious ball of mess. It's just through childhood, these behaviors have gotten ingrained and they've become so deep that now your reaction has become your response. There is no interception at it. You just fall unconscious whenever something like that happens. And the first step is always awareness. You've got to start to watch these behaviors, right? So just simply watch them. Next time something happens where you feel like, oh, I got to say yes and I got to do this, take some time, take a pause and watch that. Watch that as it comes up. That's number one. Number two is getting clear on your own life, intellectually and emotionally. So this comes in a simple form of what and why. Right? This is what we do in the Reality Mastery program too. You first define what it is you want and see how you feel about it. Okay? So maybe you want this business, maybe you want this car or this house, or you want financial freedom or whatever it is you want. You define that and you see how you feel about it. Is this really what I want? Do I want this to the point where I'm willing to say no to what I'm doing right now? So to give you an example, I was supposed to go into a full-time career. And then I projected in my mind what that would look like if I were going to that. And then I had this moment where I just broke down. I'm like, no, I don't want the next 40 years of my life to be like this. So what do I want it to be like? So this is how you use the principle of pain and pleasure. You first focus on what you don't want. This is always how it begins. You must start to see your behavior right now as painful. If you don't see this people-pleasing to be painful, then you won't get that emotional clarity enough. The pain threshold won't be met enough to make the change. So first, you have to deeply feel this pain. If I continue on like this for the next 5, 10, 20 years, what does my life look like? Projecting that out, right? I believe this is also what Jeff Bezos did when he realized, that he could take a risk and start up this Amazon business, or he could stay at that hedge fund where he was like, he held a pretty senior position. And he was like, well, what have I got to lose to, if I take this risk? I'm not going to live forever. And so he took that risk in starting Amazon, and it turned out to be a huge success, right? That's how you make those uncomfortable decisions that you need to make to break out of your shell. So, number one is getting intellectually clear. No, actually, number one is awareness. First of all, watching these behaviors, watching them until you feel enough pain. Enough pain to help you make the decision to change. Okay? Number one. Number two, getting clear. What do I want? In the next 10 years of my life, what do I want? And then getting emotionally clear. If I continue on like this, what am I giving up? What does life look like if I continue on like this with these behaviors? And what could life potentially look like if I stop this behavior and do the other behavior? And again, this doesn't have to just be with people pleasing. It could be other behaviors in your life too. This helps you gain more perspective in it. The number one reason why people can't achieve what they want is they're not clear. It's that simple. They're not clear about what they want. Because if you get clear, you don't have to focus on putting up boundaries. If you get clear on your mission and what you want to do in your life, it just becomes a matter of, I know what I want. Why am I wasting my time? I know that if I do this, I'm going to go there. If I be this and show up as this, I'm going to get there. If you start to get clear and you remind yourself of this vision every single day, there is no reason to focus on the effects of that vision, right? There's no need to, because people, they focus on the effect and the symptoms, and they think that's the ultimate. They think, okay, well, I'm a people pleaser, so I need to set some boundaries. No, you don't need to set boundaries. You just need to get clear on what you want. When you get clear, the boundaries will naturally come up. You'll naturally be able to say no to behaviors that don't serve you, right? So this is the oblique, the indirect way of achieving your goals. Kind of like you don't need to focus on business tactics and strategies to be able to grow a business. You need to focus on what you actually want for this business first. Those foundations need to be there first. And when those foundations are there and you're really sure of it, and again, you can never be 100% sure of it. This is a iterative process that continues on for life. I get clearer and clearer on my vision every single day, right? So I'm going to end this video here. I hope this was valuable to you. To do a quick recap, we talked about people pleasing, pain and pleasure, why this behavior has continued up until this point, why you keep getting yourself into certain engagements that don't serve you, and you keep putting yourself and backing yourself up into a wall when you know you should be doing something different, but it's so hard for you to let others down. If you want to do that, you have to first of all gain awareness of what's going on to the point where you feel the pain, okay? Pain is beautiful. Pain teaches us. Pain actually makes us grow. No one ever grew out of pleasure. Please think about this. No one ever grew out of pleasure. Growth only comes when there's discomfort. Growth only comes when there's pain. Okay? This doesn't mean you need to suffer. Suffering is when you keep continually focusing on the pain and you keep putting yourself down and just like spitting and kicking yourself, right? There's no need to do that. You simply look at what you don't want so that it can propel you towards what you do want, towards the behaviors that will serve you. Okay? So number one, awareness, and it always begins with awareness. Number two is clarity. And clarity in the sense of intellectual, what do I want? Emotional, how do I feel about it? And then seeing what it's costing you to continue on like this. Okay, and over time, you'll gain this maturity to be able to make that change. And the change always happens with the decision to make the change. That's always how it begins. So with that, I conclude this video. I sincerely hope this was helpful. This was something that was on my mind because one of my friends was going through it, and I wanted to share this with you guys on the channel. Please let me know what you thought of this, if this was valuable for you, what kind of content you'd like me to make in the future. And if you're new to the channel, make sure you like, comment, subscribe. Hit that little bell there so you're notified of any new video that I put out. And also, I'm excited to announce you can apply for mentorship with me and my team for the Reality Mastery Program. To find out more, just go on the link in the description below to apply, and let's see if we can help you. Who we typically work with are people who are entrepreneurs and business owners who want to scale their businesses, but what they're seeing is they don't have a business tactic or strategic problem. The same patterns keep happening because they have an internal problem. Maybe they feel like they're people pleasing and they keep saying yes to too many things. Maybe they can't raise their prices because they're too afraid. Maybe they can't say no to their customers because, again, they're in this people pleasing mode. Or maybe there's some internal struggle, maybe they procrastinate and they see that all of this internal mess is starting to reflect out into their businesses, which is actually keeping them stuck. And the internal problem is the root cause. If that sounds like you, if you'd like to see if we'd be able to help, just click on the link below to find out more, and looking forward to seeing you there. And the free Facebook group is open for you to take advantage of. The link for that is also in the description. Guys, thank you so much for watching. Till next time. Peace.